I'm Shon Kale with Frostie Bottom Treestands, and we're going to do a little short video here today on just some things to be safe when you're going back to the woods, especially with tree stands and some of the equipment that you use. Stuff to kind of look forward to or look at before you actually try to start hunting and put yourself maybe in a dangerous situation that can be avoided just by taking a few different steps. One of the first things that I always tell people is your ratchet straps. Your ratchet strap material. A lot of them are a polypropylene material. These like this is actual seatbelt material that you find in your car. But one of the main things I tell people about that all UV light, which is the sunlight, will damage these things. You got about a 2-year lifespan before they need to be replaced, before they get brittle to where they'll just snap in your hand, and you step on a stand that's got that and it snaps, you're going to the ground in a hurry. So here's one of the main things you need to look for when you're buying new ones. Is you got two different on the package. You got two different words. You got at the top, you got what load carrying capacity or working capacity. Then at the bottom, you normally have like tensile strength or braking strength capacity. Now your braking strength capacity normally 1,200, 1,400 pounds, but your load carrying capacity would say maybe 500 pounds. The load carrying capacity is what you need to be looking for, because that is how much load it can withstand for a long time. So that means 400 pounds, that means it can withhold 400 pounds for hours, like sitting in a tree stand for hours. So you need to make sure you do not exceed that 400 pounds, because it will break. And then for your climbing stand people out here, one of the main things that happens is you don't take your cables out and take a good look at them. As you can see here, this cable is, the outer shell has come off, it's rusted on the inside. You can see the cable is exposed here, and it's been set in a stand, has been on a tree for a long time. This cable here is really unsafe and it needs to be replaced, because this thing could probably snap at any moment. That's just one of the things to keep the cables, keep them inside. If you bring a stand in, especially a climber, keep your stand inside all winter and take care of that and replace them as needed. One of the other things that I want to is a piece of a climbing stick. Right here's a good thing to look for. If you got caps on the end, that's a good thing, especially if you leave them out, because that keeps water from getting inside here. And like in a deep freeze in the wintertime, it actually busts the metal out from the inside, which makes this very fragile. So the first time you put any type of weight on it, it'll snap. So that's another good thing to look for. If it's got caps here, that keeps the water out of these little sections of the stand, making it a whole lot safer. And this, like I said, there's a few little things, and some people still use your climbing steps. Climbing steps, the main part that you look for on these is right here on the corner, because this is where all the weight, when you screw them in, this is where all the weight is supported from. I want to look to see to make sure this paint right here is not cracked. If this paint is cracked or is broke off right in here, that normally means there's some type of fatigue with the metal. So that makes this thing weaker than what it normally is, and it can snap off and you can have a fall. So kind of look at that. I'm looking at the threads, make sure they still got plenty of good gripping power in them. And I'm looking at where you put your feet, make sure there's no, in this corner as well, there's no cracks or anything like that, because that could be a breaking point as well. These two sections right here are weak sections, but as long as they're not cracked or rusted or anything like that, they should be pretty good. Here's just some of the things to look at before you go hunting this year.